I don't want to be that friend that tells you what to do.
I know. It's my decision.
So we're good?
We're good.
Things get even more awkward between Andy, Buffy, and Walker, so let's go ahead and break down Season 3, Episode 3 of Andy Mack and find out just what happened. Rise and shine on, you lovely people. Lisa here for Mack Attack time. So this week's episode of Andy Mack is called The Dilemma. But you know, dilemma spelled D-I-L-E-M-N-A with a silent N like Bex has thought it's always been spelled, which we see in the opening of this episode. Anyway, as expected, we find all of our characters in some pretty intense dilemmas, so let's go ahead and find out what those are. For Bowie, he decides to expand his guitar lessons to another kid named Sean. Sean is 9 and his dad Victor wants to buy him his very first guitar, and as soon as they enter the record store, you can tell that Victor's kind of one of those dads that thinks his son is like the greatest at everything and can do no wrong. At least that's the vibe that I'm getting here. When Jonah talks up how great of a teacher and rock star Bowie is, Victor asks Bowie if he can give Sean some lessons because his son has talent. So Bowie agrees and quickly learns that Sean doesn't have as much talent as his dad thinks. Pretty much, he also refuses to listen and learn, and he just does his own thing, so Bowie's got his work cut out for him. For Cyrus, besides accidentally smashing his potato chip that's shaped like Obama, he finds out he's failing PE, and he doesn't want it to hurt his GPA, so he's willing to do anything to help his grade. And his PE teacher says there's another way to get the PE credit without taking PE. So what is it? It is dance class, and yeah, let's just say it's kind of entertaining and funny to watch Cyrus attempt to dance. Poor kid has like not one, not two, but like 50 left feet. I almost think the kid would have been better off in PE just trying to learn how to kick a ball or do a push-up or something. I kind of feel like there had to be other options though for Cyrus here besides dance, but maybe dance was the funniest because I know when I was in high school, at least marching band counted as a PE credit if you did that for that and concert band for 2 semesters, and I think there was other things that counted, but this ultimately, yes, does seem like it's going to be a fun storyline for Cyrus, but I also feel like it was kind of a missed opportunity of sorts to see more of Cyrus and TJ's relationship develop, whether that's in a friendship way or in a something more way, because I know that's what, you know, you shippers out there want, and that's what they've kind of been hinting at, but we haven't seen much of lately. I felt like it was time for TJ to maybe return the good deed, pass it forward when it came to the tutoring he got from Buffy, and help out Cyrus. We already know TJ's really good at the whole coaching, you know, he coaches the little kids with their American Ninja Warrior gym or gymnastics or whatever things they were doing in that other episode, so I felt like that could have been kind of a fun thing to see play out. Next up, let's go to Bex and Cece. I don't think any of us for a minute thought that Bex and Cece were actually going to be able to plan a wedding together without any issues. I mean, of course, wishfully thinking, you know, you want it to happen, but yeah, it doesn't happen. We learn Bex hasn't even really talked to Bowie about the wedding, a wedding date, what they want to do, but she knows she just wants things to be kind of low-key. Like she said in the last episode, she'd be willing to just go to the courthouse. Cece, however, is that kind of mom. She's already on top of things and has already even sent out a save the date. And Cece says she won't let Bex turn something so important in her life, like a wedding, into something casual. Well, this just frustrates Bex even more because she's like, this is my wedding, it's not my mom's wedding, what's going on? She vents to Bowie, but Bowie doesn't really help because he says maybe they should just let Cece help. Like, it took so much for Bex and Cece to fix their relationship. Why do you want to let, you know, possibly this whole wedding thing ruin it? Maybe they should just listen to Cece, hear her out on some things. Also, Bowie goes ahead and says this.
And at the end of the day, I just want to be married to you. It doesn't matter which day.
I mean, if Bex won't marry Bowie, I'll marry Bowie because that's so sweet. All he wants is just to marry her. It doesn't matter to him how. He just knows that he wants to be with her, and that's just the cutest thing ever. Like, they should just maybe go to the courthouse. It'd be a lot easier, right? Anyway, but now let's move on to the real drama and dilemma of this episode with Andy, Walker, and Buffy. So you know how Andy told Buffy she was okay with Buffy dating Walker, but she really wasn't? Yeah, now we're seeing it all just kind of blow up. So get ready for even more awkwardness and frustration. So there's this pop-up in town called Color Factory, which is like, well, if you live here in LA or in New York, they have these things called the Happy Place or the Museum of Ice Cream, all these little Instagram-worthy things that pop up for a limited time. And yeah, basically built, like I said, for people to just go take pictures, post them, and think that they look really cool. Or in the words of this episode, go take photos to post and give others FOMO.
So it's one of those places that's just for posting pictures on social media to make people feel left out.
Basically. So Andy, Cyrus, and Buffy decide this would be a really cool place to go, but when Buffy brings up, saying, oh, I should bring Walker because he would love this as well, this happens. Well, Andy is just like Zach Morrison, saved by the bell here. Later, when Andy is talking to Cyrus at the Spoon, Cyrus is of course the reasonable one and tells Andy she just needs to freaking talk to Buffy about what's going on. Clear the air. Tell her she's uncomfortable. But instead, Andy's kind of like how I am with certain things. You'd rather just avoid the problem, not talk about it, and it's like if you ignore it, it'll just go away. But trust me, Andy, that never works. It always comes back. When Buffy finally arrives, she of course brings up Walker, and unfortunately that does kind of start to make the situation a bit worse, but they do both decide to be honest with each other, and Andy finally admits she does feel weird about Walker, and Buffy's just kind of like, I knew it, but I'm glad you told me. And Buffy says she will not invite Walker to the color factory. But then Andy's also kind of like, I don't want to be that friend that tells you what to do, but Buffy ultimately tells Andy it's Andy's decision and that the two of them are good with whatever Andy decides. So with that, you kind of think things are going to be good, right? Walker's not going to come and Andy and Buffy are on good terms, or on the same page at least. Well, unfortunately that is short-lived, because when Andy goes to leave her house to go meet everybody at the color factory, guess who shows up? Walker, right on the doorstep, wanting to get down and talk about what is going on. He says that he believed Andy when she said they could just be friends, but then he talked to Buffy, who told him Andy said she didn't want him to come, and well, Walker says he doesn't want to come between Andy and Buffy, so he wants to do whatever he can to try to fix this whole situation. Now, the only thing Andy hears during Walker's talking is that Buffy talked to Walker about what Andy said, so now she's upset, and she tells Walker to just go to the color factory.
We could go together.
Did you not get enough awkwardness just now?
Good point. I guess I'll see you there.
And Andy kind of makes it seem like she's going to meet them there and things are cool. She just didn't want to maybe walk with Walker, so he goes ahead and leaves and is like, thanks Andy for being cool. Well, when Walker shows up at the color factory, Buffy is actually mad because she's like, I told you not to show up. But then Walker says, you know what, Andy said he could come. They worked everything out, and he says that Andy will be there any second. She's like right behind him. So Buffy smiles. Everyone thinks everything has worked out and it's time to like have some fun. So they just all start taking pictures together at the different activations and booths, and they're having a blast. But Andy actually never shows up. Instead of just going and hanging out with her friends, she opts to go and mope in her room. She ends up sitting at home, torturing herself by watching her friends' Insta feeds as they post a ton of pictures like they're having so much fun at this color factory. Buffy does text Andy being like, why didn't you show up? And Andy starts to type a response, but then deletes it. So when Bex and Bowie come to check on Andy later, Andy lets them know how she's feeling. She says she can't be with Buffy when Buffy is with Walker. And Andy feels like Buffy would rather be with Walker, judging from all these photos that they're posting, all the happy times, and that Buffy is sharing so-called secrets about Andy with Walker. Thank goodness Bex actually calls her out on that one point.
Exhibit A. Buffy told Walker that I didn't want him to hang out with us. She's sharing my secrets with him.
Well, did you ask her to keep it a secret?
But there's also another reason Andy is mad. Andy texted Buffy back eventually saying she's not coming because something came up. And the fact that Buffy didn't text Andy again to say, what came up, are you okay? Andy is pissed and feels even more left out. And that's where this episode ends. So I feel like what's happening here in this storyline is kind of important. Social media has definitely changed the way we live our lives, and it's an easy way for people to get revenge and show off or be like, look what I'm doing without you, But it's also a really easy way for others to misinterpret something and jump to conclusions. Like they didn't text me back, but they can go post this picture or tweet, I must not be important to them. I think we've all kind of experienced this situation. So I get why Andy would feel the way she does, but also she doesn't even know this whole story about what played out. She didn't tell Walker she wasn't coming. From everything he thought, you know, she insinuated she would be coming too. Like, he could go and she would show up as well. They were fine. So Buffy took Walker's information of like, oh, Andy's coming, as, okay, she's gonna come, we can just have fun. And when Andy didn't show up, Buffy did text Andy being like, where are you? Why didn't you come? You know, so Buffy was under this impression everything was fine. So I kind of don't feel like in this situation, Buffy is in the wrong that much. This is just chalked up to miscommunication. I mean, Buffy did send a text to say, hey, you know, why didn't you come? Why aren't you here? We saw Andy start to type, but then she deleted it. So we have no idea how long it took for Andy to respond. She could have responded after they had already left this place and posted their pictures. But also, I guess, if it was really important, Buffy and the rest of the friends could have called Andy and been like, you know, hey, are you coming? We can hold off and wait for you. But yeah, like I said, I'm chalking this whole thing up to miscommunication here. But also, Andy's still not fully being honest with everyone. To me, it doesn't even seem like Andy has any feelings for Walker whatsoever. To me, it feels more of the like kind of jealousy thing where it's like your best friend goes and gets a significant other, that makes you the third wheel, or they're not spending as much time with you, or they have someone else to share their secrets with or have inside jokes with, and you kind of just feel left out. But I mean, Buffy was there for Andy with the whole Jonah situation. They could talk about it, so why can't Andy talk about, you know, Walker with Buffy? But I guess it's a tiny bit different in the fact that Walker and Andy did go on a date together, but really they weren't fully dating. It didn't seem like super, you know, intense feelings were ever had there. But I get why it would be a little awkward, but you know, Andy just needs to be upfront because Buffy has expressed, you know, she doesn't want someone to come between them, so, you know, whatever Andy wants, they'll figure it out. But since Andy's not being fully honest with anybody, no one's gonna figure anything out, and it's just gonna be drawn out and more dramatic as time goes on. Ugh, 13-year-olds, right? They're still 13, 14, however old they're supposed to be. I feel like at that age, things are more intense. You're getting your hormones, you're getting your crushes, but also I feel like crushes change every day. I don't know, it's been a long time since I was 13, guys. I don't know, a lot of you in the comments, some of you said your love lives at 13 and 14 in middle school were this dramatic, and others of you were like, no, it wasn't. So I have no idea. All I know is it's kind of natural for friend groups to kind of have some kind of drama within their lifespan, and that's kind of what we're getting here. So we'll see just how this plays out. But from the promo for next week, it seems like we might take a break from this love triangle here. So let's take a look at part of the promo for the next episode.
Nervous?
Why would I be nervous?
Because you're about to start a girls' basketball team. Only the entire history of this school and your future will depend on them.
This is a nightmare. They're terrible.
All right, Buffy is finally starting her girls' basketball team. And I love that it seems like she has TJ and Cyrus encouraging her. TJ's being a friend, that's really cool. I don't think we've had the answer though of who he turned back for. We're still waiting on that, but TJ is back in the next episode. And like I said, I love how they're helping her. And since TJ and Cyrus are both helping, they're going to get to spend more time together too. But it feels like for Buffy, just like how we saw Bowie struggling with his new guitar student, it's not going to be an easy ride for Buffy. And we know Buffy likes to win, so she definitely probably wants to whip this team into shape. So that should be kind of interesting to see.
I mean, look at us hanging out with no drama.
I'm putting together open mic tomorrow night, and yep, you are the only one on the list, so you kind of have to do it.
I only have one song.
And I guess you're gonna have to write another one.
This song's about me.
Okay, so Jonah has written another song, so what could it be about? Well, we hear that it's about Andy, or at least Andy thinks it's about Andy, but is it about still liking Andy? What is this whole thing about? One of the cliffhangers, another one besides who TJ turned around for that we still don't have an answer for, is what fortune Andy read. Could that fortune have been Jonah's? And it's just like a vague thing with like, I hope she likes me, or I hope she gives me another chance, or something. And is Andy reading into this thinking that fortune was about her, and then this song is about her? But could Jonah have written a song about another girl? Or just, you know, people write songs about past experiences and it still sounds like a love song, but it was about a certain point in their life. So is Andy reading too much into this whole situation? What will this song truly be about? Is it even a love song? It could be about how maybe like things with Andy didn't work out and they're just friends. I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But that is it for this week's recap of Andy Mack, you guys. So let me know all your thoughts on this episode. Who do you, is Buffy in the wrong? Is Buffy not in the wrong? Is Andy in the wrong? Is anybody in the wrong? Should Walker just kind of maybe remove himself from the situation? What do you think should happen here? And yeah, are you excited to see Cyrus try to dance? Maybe he should go to dance classes with Andy and Cece and Bex. They all seem pretty good at it. I'm excited to see that though, but let me know in the comments all your thoughts and theories for what you want to see happen next as well, with these cliffhangers that we've gotten that we haven't had answers to. And also, if you have any questions for the Andy Mack cast, leave those in the comments as well. I might possibly be interviewing some of them this weekend at an event. We'll see how that goes, but if I do end up getting to that event, I want to try to ask some of your questions. So think of some really interesting, creative, good ones, and yeah, leave them in the comments, and I'll try to ask a couple. We'll see how it goes. But that's it for me for this week's Andy Mack goodness recap, whatever you want to call it. You can click right over here for even more of my recaps, interviews, whatever you want to see, and don't forget to subscribe. My name's Lisa. I'll see you guys next time.